No permissions, birth looked up, taking flight flowing. Knows dissidence, balanced in dark and light. Steadying the agreeable index plight. Crypto tuning up, yup, keeping it right. Yup. The meme that's on the rise. Agreeable intense. One on a Pulsechain's pride. Opening those minds with all the positivity. Marching in its time. Cadence in the grind. Agree to disagree. Yup. All the time you need to meet up, hits it right. Freedom and prosperity, the destination and the flight. Lighting up dad's farm. Opposed to that, nope. Rule. Firing up them charts, yeah, flying straight and true. Wink at the foes, cheer at the woes. Yep, stack stats gliding through the lows. The truth will set you free.
What is up, everybody? How we doing? I forgot to stop sharing that screen real quick. Anyways, what is going on? How we doing? It's a little dark in here. Let's turn that on. We got a very good show for you today. We got some the strategies of the today. We're going to talk about multiple platforms, multiple tokens, and how to use them with token and everything like that. So if you're down for that, let me know. Hex T Armstrong he says let's effing go, and I'm Believe in Yourself says I'm blessed to be here. Hope you are too. Yes, we are all blessed to be in blockchain. And of course, Hex T Armstrong has to come in on YouTube and go LFG as well. I'm happy you guys are here. If you guys are here, please go over to YouTube, hit like, subscribe, share it out, whatever you want to do, and let's get into some strategies. I got to turn my light around, but yeah, it's showing a little shadow. Anyways, let's put it up on our grown-up glasses real quick, all right? So we can get into the grown-up things. And we got our Pulsechain on. We got our shirt on, you know. You won't get this one at pulsechainstore.com. Crypto X-Swag is where you can get that one. But anyways, let's get into this thing. Let's see if I can do some screen sharing and stuff all on my own. And I got a little tiny overlay I'm going to do when we go into the presentation, but I'm going to jump over and go over the platforms we will be talking about in this video with using the strategies that we're going to go over in the later half of the video. So let's get into it. Let's share the screen and hopefully have some fun. So share screen. So we will be using emit.farm because we will be talking about the emit token. And if you don't know, this uses Pulsex, of course, to add liquidity, remove, swap. It is a tax token. It's 5% tax, even on sending, stuff like that. Add an LP, just to be aware of that. It is a tax token, but then we will be talking, if you guys know how to do it, it's got farms, whatnot, got single-side staking, got its own pools, got community tokens, got Pulsex pools. I mean, we've gone over it on the channel before, so if you want, go back to a previous video. There are links down below, all referral links down below. I do not get paid to stream about Pulsechain or anything like that. I'm here for the community, here for the revolution. So if you want more of that, let me know. But anyways, we're going to talk about Function Island. So this platform has another token called Yield. They have their yield farms. If you stake Island, their governance token right here, you will get free fees. You have to lock it up for like 30 days. They do have juicy APRs right now. And it is a low market cap yield token right now, which I'm kind of bullish on it. It's kind of it's interesting that it's starting at a low market cap and low liquidity. I mean, it's like less than 10,000 market cap, and you're getting yield in this thing. and it's more of a community building token. And if you know about it and things like that. Anyways, I'm providing a little bit of LP, nothing big, nothing. You know what I mean? Risk comes with the game. But yeah, it's got island farms down here. It's all Pulsex LP. If you go over to rewards, you can stake island and earn wrap pulse off the revenue of the you know platform. If you go to earn, you can see that we have a Yep Island pool here. We have a Island Steve pool here. We have an Island Soda pool here, and a Gator pool. Anyways, we've got some pools here. Even the famous Camel pool here with Island. And you can view these pools, get APR, and earn just the governance token Island. And there's only 300,000 of those. Pretty much, if anybody decided to burn any, it would be deflationary, and they slowly come out with updates like going over to the yield platform, locking up right here to get free fees going in and out of the pools, because most of all the pools are 5% in, 5% out. So that's a great way to lock up Island token. You know what I mean? The governance token is cool. I like it. They had an NFT that you could earn some Island too. I never got into that, but they had an IBON saying they have multiple things. It's like a Uniswap fork with different UI kind of things, which is cool. I like it, but there's that platform, and we will be going over, like, we'll be using the Fux platform. I'm showcasing the Agreeable Index. The key ball is the ticker. I don't know why they don't have the logo here yet, but they will get there with the key ball logo thing. If you add liquidity, you can earn some yield, and you add it here, and then you go over to Fux and you stake it over here for better yield. You earn multiple tokens, and in the future, maybe bonus tokens. So we're going to go over that. And then I have previous videos about all this. I probably got to do another video about Function Island and everything, but I pretty much jumped through all of it. Always do your own research before doing any of this. Know your own risk. Disclaimer, not your financial advisor, everything. But anyways, and the homie farms are over on Hocus Pocus. And Hocus Pocus is an aggregator of farms, stuff like that. They got the farming wizard here. They got their own dashboard. They got boosters. You can earn extra yield, so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm showcasing the Yep pools here. It does not show the island pool on the Function Island, though. Right here on the rewards or the earn tab in this pool. So you have to go to Function Island for that. But it doesn't. I think we got like 2 months left on this pool for the Yep Island. On most of these pools, we got like 2 months. So that's an important thing to say right there. So yeah, it has lower APR, but you use a little bit of I think it's 20% APR right now, but use a little bit of funds. You just throw it in there, forget about it, unstake it later in 2 months, and collect your free island, and then you can go over here, add it to LP, stuff like that. But anyways, that's pretty much the platforms we'll be using besides adding LP on Pulsex. And with that said, I am going to show Frank Wyatt comment and go Function Island added to Farming Wizard today. Yes, they did. Hocus Pocus. They did add the Function Island one right here, which if I untype Yep right here, it'll show it. If I unclick the filter of all these farms, it shows all the Function Island right here. Now, these are the farms on Function Island that are on the yield tab. All right, up here. So that's what's on Hocus Pocus. But on the earn tab, it doesn't show these pools, which is cool. Kind of like a hidden gem. I kind of like things that are hidden. You know what I mean? So if you're earning yield, it'll show up on Hocus Pocus. And if it shows, you see, it shows you the deposit withdrawal fees right here on all these pools, which is nice. So 5% in, 5% out. So if you put $100 in, it's going to take $5 from you in and $5 from you out, or a little bit less because it'll be 95, whatever. But the price could be way higher at that time. So just know the fees. No, it's more long term. Any liquidity providing is multi-year. You know what I mean? So this is a pretty advanced strategy. I'm going to go from simple to advanced here later on. But yeah, we'll be using strategies, and you could like get really complex things like that. But anyways, on that note, I am going to kind of explain more as I go through the strategies. And with that said, I'm going to play a video after the yield farm. Yes. APRs on island site are closer. Something needs update. Okay. More wealth reposted the stream. Thank you. More wealth. Also, the fees aren't updating on the wizard. Like if you stake island, it still says 5%, but it is 0. Okay. Maybe I would go with the information on the Function Island website, because when you go in here and want to deposit, it'll show you the fee right here. So when you stake island on the rewards right here, it is no fee. Yeah. That's what you're meaning, Frank White? I believe that's what he means. Anyways, I'm going to play a video real quick, and then we'll come into the presentation. I just kind of wanted to give a quick rundown of the platforms we'll be using today in the background while I'm talking about the presentation. All right. And yeah, that update, the 5% to 0 scales with 300 being max discount. Yeah. Right here, you get a max discount if you stake island and you stake 300 or more right now, or something like, yeah, 300 island will get you a 0% fee across the pools. All right. And with emit, you have to buy an NFT to get free fees across the pools. Otherwise, you'll get fees on some of these pools too that aren't paired with emit, I believe. Right now, I think most of them are 0. They all say they're 0 right here. But yeah, anyways, that's something I should have brought up too with emit.farm. So awesome coverage. Emit and everything is doing great. Yeah, I'm really happy that these low cap projects are actually starting to get in the greater community and get awareness, things like that. They're getting some notoriety. You know what I mean? It's long overdue. I mean, Function Island's been around for a long time. I mean, over a year now, and not many people use it. Emit came out a few months ago, but yeah, there's some notoriety there, and I love the collaboration between Emit and Function Island. I mean, Function Island has emit farms on Function Island down here. I mean, a emit farm right here with yield, and then you go over to emit and you go down here and it has their whole section on Function Island. If you keep scrolling right here, you know, it is great collaborations. Everybody's working as a team, and that is way agreeable, I think. And Frank does agree. So anyways, I'm going to play a video so I can get the presentation ready. And yeah, let's do this. Let's play the emit farm video since we're talking about emit today. And yep, but I could do the yep, but it kind of played it in the beginning. So let's just do emit real quick.
Candles rising like a prophecy. 100x dreams, that's velocity. Buy so loud they ring through the monastery. Emit in my ledger like it's part of ontology. Stacks on the move, call it Discworld momentum. Magic magic in my wallet, Terry Pratchett with the emblem. Flipping page by page, these games write a saga. Got dragons in the charts, and I'm ghosting the drama. Glide through blocks like I'm stitched to the Dharma. Cipher in the mist, spit runes in the playlist. By the dip, yeah, I buy the myth. When the market sings amidst the hieroglyph. Sowed my seed in the field of returns. Farming on chain like the ritual burns. Yields from the earth coated deep in the script. Harvest moonshining where the old gods drift. This ain't luck, it's alchemy. Turning doubt into galaxy. Every tick a masterpiece. Green with calligraphy. Woke up to the charts in a spiral dance. Candle looking greener than a druid stance. Ink in the ledger, got spells in my sleeve. Numbers chant spells like a priest on the eve. Vested in the myth like I married the tech. Though repaid in sats, I'm demanding respect. From silence, I minted my legend and voice. Truth laced the tempo like fate.
So, I gotta do this one little click. I almost had it, like my little tiny overlay here. Anyways, I want to address this comment real quick. The banana token is there on Function Island. I know what you're talking about. It is on the Earn tab. It is Island Banana LP. It is there. So, I just wanted to address that, which is great. So you guys should hear me. Yeah. So, anyways, we are going to go over the strategies of Yep. So I'm going to do a disclaimer real quick. LP providing comes with risk of impermanent loss. All platforms in crypto is high risk. Always do your own research and know the risks. Some cryptos are riskier than others. I mistyped there. These are my opinions and my strategies alone. I am not your agreeable money advisor, financial advisor, whatever you want to call it. Everything is your choice. Enter at your own risk. You click the buttons. All right, guys? So, anyways, let's move on. I'm going to come down here and go LP strategies for Yep token. All right. Some questions you may have to become agreeable with DeFi and LP providing for yield and or farming on Pulsechain. All right. So 3 questions. How can I earn yield with Yep token? What places can I earn yield with Yep? What strategies can I do to build my bags with Yep token or even other tokens as far as that goes, right? Because we always want to stay agreeable or everything's going to go to zero, right? And yes, I'm going with the common theme here and whatnot. So, anyways, let's move down. We have the pools, all right? The pools that Yep token are in. All right. These are the agreeable index, which uses the platform Fux.io and 2Fux.io. All right. The LP token is Keyball. You can trade just into that by swapping 2Fux or any other token into Keyball to get exposure to all these tokens. All the tokens in that pool are Nope, Scuba Steve, Vets and Crypto, Yep, and 2Fux. Now, it being 30% 2Fux in that pool, you get bonus tokens. So, anyways, that is easily said. You can go 2Fux, add the LP, and then stake that LP token over on 2Fux. I have previous videos. Now, Function Island, right here, or right there, this is the little logo I got. You know what I mean? And this is the pool that we can earn for 2 more months. And yes, I should have done this a long time ago, but you know, I haven't been too agreeable, I guess, lately with giving too much alpha, because this is like some good strategies and good alpha. So we have the Homie Farms, which uses Hocus Pocus. All right, only you have to go to Hocus Pocus finance or app, whatever. Hocus Pocus finance. Yeah. All right. And you have to enter your LP over on 9-inch, which is the same as PulseX. I should have mentioned that earlier. You have to use 9-inch. I forgot to put 9-inch logo down here too. But hey, we're still working on it. This is going to be a good presentation. All right. So we have two farms, which the farms are the decision farm, I call it, and getting agreeable with that farm, I call it, which is this one. That agreements and the decision pool. You know what I mean? So it's kind of play on words. This is the relaxing, agreeable pool kind of thing. I might have called it something different down below, but you get the point. My marketing is getting a little bit better, but we're working with it. So it's always V2. All right. This is the FIDEX. You can go to dex.functionisland.com for that. All right. To enter it in, it's just Uniswap for it, so on and so forth. So now, when you're on the emit farms, you enter your LP into PulseX V2. All right. And it will tax you if you enter in emit and yep, because emit's a tax token, it will tax you. So $100 tax you like not even $5 really. All right. So those are the pools. Oh yeah, you guys know 9-inch. Basically, it's like a PulseX fork or a pancake swap fork, just like PulseX, and you just enter the LP in there, just same as V2. All right. So there's the pools that we'll be using. Moving on. Now the reward tokens you will be earning in an agreeable index are 2 fucks, PHUX, and the question marks are bonus tokens. Those can be added and taken as incentives to certain pools, because you're holding 30% 2 fucks in that agreeable index, which makes it qualify for that. So, Function Island, you're earning Island. All right. I'll throw a little bit of spin later on to where you can earn yield at the end of this when we're in the advanced section. And it gets complicated because you complicate it even further than I have it. Yeah, but anyways, Homie Farms earns DAT token. We have 2 farms of that. All the APRs are variable between all these farms. You have to pay attention to that, how thick they are. Price go up, price go, whatever. Impermanent loss, things like that. You have to be aware of your permanent loss, so on and so forth. The emit farms earn you emit, and if you put it back in LP, it is a 5% tax. All right. I will only say that emit is a 5% tax here. All right. So when we're down below, you'll know that it says tax over the token. It'll be 5%. None of these other tokens are tax tokens. All right. But the tax on emit is there for the system on emit.farm. It adds to the single sided pool, it adds to other things as well, various things. So we went over that in a stream with Karios, and you can go watch that one. So, anyways, moving on to our first strategy. All right. Oh, you guys like my memes, by the way? Little Gary Gensler says, "Yep, good idea." And Kermit's going to be drinking the agreeable Kool-Aid today. All right. Throwing in a little comedy, a little humor is always cool. Anyways, let's move on. Now, diversified strategy diversified building strategy for the maximum exposure in LP this for like multi-cycle, maybe 1 cycle, 2 cycles, because you just start now. Maybe you're in your 20s, maybe you're in your 30s. You're gonna be here for more than 1 cycle. You're not gonna get rich overnight. So I made the calculations with $1,000 to invest into low cap plays. This is below $1 million market cap. Most of these tokens are. I think all of them at the moment are. Yeah. So there's a lot of upside here, I think. And that is always best to me because you can only go up from here. Like if you start out with a huge market, $1 trillion market cap, it's a little overvalued for most people. Anyways, once a week, like, so these are passive Stratocaster strategies, passive Stratocaster effects will occur once a week while you're checking, while the chart moves sideways, kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Anyways, kind of wrote that weird, but you get the point. I do weird things sometimes, Anyways, so let's say you have $1,000 and you want to invest. All right. So in the agreeable index, you would invest 160 into 2 fucks, $60 into nope, 120 into Vets and Crypto, Scuba Steve, and Yep Token, totaling to $580. All right. This is spreading the $1,000 out evenly across all these pools just to earn the yield. All right. That's the whole strategy. So you might have to account a little bit for slippage on top of this. Maybe another video I'll go into best ways to enter these tokens. I could do that later on in the video if you guys want. But anyways, so Function Island, you'd put $50 into Island, $50 into Yep, equaling 100. So a lot of you guys might already have Yep. Do what you will with the way you want to. You can always go out by the Island, whatever, buy the other tokens and enter them in there. That goes for any of these farms. But Homie Farms, which is Hocus Pocus, you can earn $50 Yep, $50 DAT, $50 Nope, $50 Yep, and you could earn DAT in 2 pools. All right. And the emit farms right here. I forgot to use my laser pointer. The emit farms, you would buy $50 worth of Yep and $50 worth of emit. So that would be like, you buy $50 Island, $50 DAT, $50 of Nope, $50 of emit, and 200 of Yep for these 3 pools, right? So a total of $400 right here, leaving $980. All right, leaving you a little bit for the tax. This is after you enter it into LP. You got your LP tokens, and you stake over on these platforms that I just showed you in the beginning. All right, because you should know that, and I mean it's fairly easy. You just add liquidity, and you will lose a little bit because the tax right here on this one, but none of the others. But I like how Emit uses that to support their system, their burning, their inflation, their yield farming, their single-sided staking kind of stuff. So this gives you the option of you can sell all your yield on all assets to gain your investment back over time. Now this adds sell pressure to all the assets, of course. There's risk with that, things and so forth. So like if you're in your older years and you need to pay attention to the demographic, because when you're in your 20s, you probably should just be stacking assets no matter what. In your middle years, you're doing sometimes stuff comes up, you have kids, whatever, every now and then you need to pull from the market, but you're still stacking. If you're in your older years, you're probably going to be pulling, or at least still build. Some people still build and stack for their kids to leave them something, because you just build it through your life and you want to leave a generation some wealth. You know what I mean? So you could do that, or you can keep the tokens to build the bag and wait for higher prices to compound or sell later. You know what I mean? At higher prices. You just keep them in your wallet, or you can take the yield and go buy back the token you like and kind of like compound kind of thing. There's multiple strategies with this, but this is evenly across all things. All right. And yes, you can split these up into 4 different strategies and just do that with $1,000 in the emit farms or $1,000 in the homie farms and so on and so forth. All right. But this gains you maximum exposure to all the LPs, and you earn multiple reward tokens that you can stack and earn. All right. And with the agreeable index, like I said before, you earn multiple tokens. All right. So, anyways, that is my first strategy, and that is probably like the most diversified, multi-year, multi-cycle kind of thing. Because when you're providing liquidity and wanting to earn yield, you set it and forget it for a while. You know what I mean? Especially in a sideways market, like 1 year up for altcoins kind of thing. Maybe pay attention to impermanent loss way more than usual. Take some profits, this and that, as the APRs go up and as impermanent loss is greater. With prices going up, maybe pull more LP as it's going up, or maybe leave it in there, just write it back down and accumulate those tokens back. Maybe you'll end up with more. Who knows? But there's multiple ways to do it. And I think if you place smaller bets, like if you had $1,000, let's say you had a $10,000 portfolio just in Pulsechain, you had your Hex, your PulseX, you had your Cork tokens, and you wanted some bigger risk stuff. You know what I mean? And put $1,000 in there, or maybe $100 in there, and whatever you wanted to do. You know what I mean? And take some bigger risk and add LP as you go. And the smaller the bets, you won't really be worried about impermanent loss as much. But when the markets go up, these can go up even more and give you some bigger gains, especially if you're holding your yields and your bags. So, yeah, there was a lot of information there. But Scrubhead decided to show up. So I have to say, what's up, Scrubhead? Sorry for joining in late. Thanks for the strategy stream. Yeah, definitely. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's more like, I know it's not about LP providing this and that, but here I'm not really worried about impermanent loss, because I'm in this for like you using a percentage of your portfolio to LP provide. Like if you had $100,000 and you had your bag and you wanted to put 5 grand into LP providing, and you just want to leave it there for multi-cycle, that means you're not going to incur impermanent loss. All right. As much when it goes up and down, depending on, risk of other tokens and what happens. But yeah. Anyways, there's always like, impermanent loss can be your impermanent gain if it just works out that way, sometimes in your favor. Anyways, I kind of like getting the tokens that are less in value as the other token goes up, because it kind of DCAs you out of there, as long as the other token that's less in value doesn't go down faster than the ones going up. Or if the one that's lesser in value is moving sideways while the other one's moving up. Some people just get a little too greedy in this market because they want maximum extraction. You know what I mean? And you'll still make tons of money in LP if everything 10x's, because you have $1,000 in LP or 5 grand in that $100,000 portfolio, and it 10x's, that's $50,000 worth of LP. But over the course of 2 3 years of LP providing through the whole altcoin market, how much of that compounded through your yields, especially if you bought other tokens and took more gambles. You know what I mean? That's why LP for providing, yes, is the risk, but you become the market. So, like, you enter into a farm that's 200% APR right now with lower liquidity. The higher it goes, the liquidity is going to go up higher, but the APR is going to go up. And once the APR starts dropping down and the liquidity starts going up even more, your impermanent loss is greater, depending on which token's going up harder. You know what I mean? But if it's usually like an island and a YEP, a DAT and a YEP, usually you're going to move fairly close together, depending on thickness of LPs and stuff like that. So as they're going up and your APRs get to like 500, 1,000, because the token price just did a 200% move on both of the tokens. We're close to it, whatever. You might want to pull a little bit of that LP and keep balance your portfolio and, incur that impermanent loss. And then that reward token should offset it. All right. That's the way I've been playing it. That's the way, I don't really worry about impermanent loss too much as long as you pay attention to the USD values and the ratios. Well, the USD values as they move up and down intraday, and you get used to it, and the volatility you're fine with, as long you're not in a rug project that's just gonna be selling your token. It's a good store of value. You know what I mean? These are lower caps. They could be great store of values. They have different token dynamics, like Emit does, like Island does, like Scuba Steve does. They're all mainly all meme tokens, but they got things behind them. Like Scuba Steve, you could stake. Yep, is mainly a DeFi token. Vets in Crypto goes to a community. Like a charity. Nope is a community token. 2Fucks is a vote. You can get your voting power. You can, things like that. Dat is a reward token. So, maybe hopefully one day it could have something else, but I don't know. You never know. This is crypto. So that is my current strategy. One, it is basically multi-cycle. It's not just this cycle. Yes, you want lesser percentages in LP, so you do not worry about impermanent loss. If you have $1,000 in LP and you have a $10,000 portfolio, it mitigates your impermanent loss a far better than having a $10,000 portfolio and having $5,000 in LP. But some people just want that 10 grand just to be almost in LP and just write it and never sell because they're always the market. They're the market maker. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like a mindset kind of thing. You got to shift when you're wanting LP. If you're going to add it to LP, you're going to be there. You got to know the project's going to last beyond one cycle. You got to know it's not just a pump and dump scheme. You got to know that it's built here to last. You know what I mean? And that it's going to stick around. Otherwise, it's not worth LP providing. And a lot of crypto scares people off of LP providing because they do the pump and up schemes. They do weird stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's move on to the next strategy because I think we've beaten that down so much. And I know that's a lot of information into the first strategy, but it's going to help out with these other strategies. Okay, I'll try to keep it more simple, and hopefully I'm going slow enough for you guys because sometimes I have the ability to go too fast and stuff like that. Frank White even says very true stuff, solid advice. Yeah, not financial advice by any means, but like a good mindset advice. Very yes, I will say that as mindset advice, because when you do an LP, like, you become the project. You know what I mean? You're like owning equity of that project, so to say. And if 100 people added LP for a project, less chance to rug, right? But it's just like Richard Hart. If he's the only one providing LP, there's more risk for it to rug than 1,000 people doing it. You know what I mean? But those 1,000 people could all be Richard Hart's wallets. Yes, we know obfuscation and stuff like that, but still, it's just an extreme example. I'm not saying Richard Hart's going to rug by any means, but it's just a method of thinking. You know what I mean? Um, so, anyways, let's move on uh, and go to the next strategy. After I drink my water real quick, I hope you guys like this. Maybe I should do this over other tokens, but this is the most simple strategy, the least risky, the least amount of work. You know what I mean? Because you just sell your yield and go away. You know, maybe sell it to die, whatever. But just know you're going to push the price of those tokens down doing that over time. Even with compounding, it doesn't push them down as much, but it still does certain things. All right, next strategy. So this is my concentrated risk strategy. All right. Least amount of tokens, build to LP and token exposure for the long term, meaning more than 1 or 2 years. Still $1,000 to invest into YEP LP, split evenly across all pools. Now I'm trying to use all pools that YEP is in. All right. So I'm using Function Island. I'm using Emit. I'm using Hocus Pocus. I'm using Two Fucks. You know, so let's go over this. I'm gonna have to zoom out probably, and hopefully it shows nicer. But anyways, yeah, it does. Cool. All right, let's zoom in a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Oh, it'll be good. No, back out. Anyways, all right. So we have the homie farms. Let me get my little laser pointer. We have the homie farms right here. The decision farm and the that's agreeable farm. All play on words, guys. That's not what they're called, but get my point. Now we have the emit farms over here, and we have the emitting agreements farm and the that's emitting farm. All right. And then we have the single-sided stake over here with emit. So you're in the decision farm, you're in the that's agreeable farm, and you're earning your DAT token. All right. And you probably went into Yep and Emit to earn some Emit. You know what I mean? Least amount of tokens. We're not in the agreeable index at all. This is simple. It doesn't have 5 tokens in a pool for impermanent loss 5 different ways. It's only an impermanent loss to 1 token or the other. And it will give you a good exit strategy. All right. So now you're earning that, you're earning emit. You want to take that yield from this pool and the yield from these 2 pools and put it into that's emitting farm. All right. This is the process of delayed gratification while still building your bag. You're trying to train yourself to delay gratification so you can get it later in life while still compounding and building your bag. All right. You're not wanting instant gratification. Investing is not a part of instant gratification. All right. So, anyways, I just want to reiterate that. So, you're earning on 3 different farms, you're earning 2 different tokens in yield, and then you're putting it into another token farm, and then you're earning emit. All right. Now, when you're pulling from your farm, let's say you have an NFT and you don't incur fees and you got your you don't incur fees over in the homie farms anyways. You don't incur fees going in and out of LP over here if you're even doing that, because you shouldn't be. You should just be earning yield, right? Unless it's too diluted and you need to move to a different pool or whatever. All right. So you take your yield from this pool and you go over and single side stake it. No impermanent loss there at all. That's just your emit. All right. And it will yield DAI through the APR, through the tax that you previously paid by adding LP and buying the token, which supports the system. And it gives you the ability to exit and DAI without sell pressure. All right. Or it gives you the ability to compound the flywheel to accumulate more and just go back into these farms. All right. Or go into the agreeable index or whatever. You know what I mean? Or you can DCA YEP and hold active in your wallet. You know what I mean? So you get some of that impermanent loss back. So if you add LP and you see impermanent loss go, you should buy the token that you're incurring impermanent loss with your reward token. But if you delay it, that impermanent loss, and DCA it with this DAI right here, after you've done the whole flywheel, kind of small flywheel here, it will, mitigate that impermanent loss while you're still holding your yield. You're still exposed to the upside here, right, in the single sided staking, and you're not incurring impermanent loss on your emit token. All right. Now, when you're staked over in Function Island, if you're earning Island and you're locking up and you get free fees, you're not incurring impermanent loss over there either. It's just locked up. All right. Just want to mitigate that. And also, when you stake your emit right here, you get an extra benefit of voting power to vote on proposals. Now, you can't make proposals and stuff like that because you have to have an NFT and you have to have a certain amount of MIT unless you want to make proposals. Um, you know, that's your prerogative. But you get an extra benefit. You can be a part of the DAO. You can be a part of the platform while it's growing in wealth, because I think it's only in the 100,000 market cap or below. Think of when that's a million, 10x from $10 emit, maybe $20 emit. Same thing with Function Island. $1 Function Island seems pretty legit. You're not incurring a permanent loss. Anyways, that is this strategy. And while I'm on this strategy, I want to remove my screen real quick and go over to Function Island. Add to stage. I need this. Go over to Function Island and show you something. All right. So we're going to share screen again. Let's go to Function Island. Let's just go to window. There we go. Now I know I have my layover here, but anyways, you're staking your Function Island here. You are earning Function Island if you're in that other strategy, because I didn't do this on the flow chart and stuff. Anyways, you're earning Island. You're putting it in here so you can put $10 here and there into $100 here and there, whatever, into these high APRs, because they're high. You want to get that so you have no fees. So you can enter these pools that have 4,000 APR and very low liquidity locked. High risk, low liquidity, very illiquid. All right. So you throw a little $20 plays here and there, maybe, to earn some of this yield, to build LP, to help the system out. You take that yield, pair it with Island, you put it down here for lower APRs, but maybe you just keep that flywheel going there. And that's pretty much the function Island flywheel. You know what I mean? You take your Island, you stake it up there to get less, no fees, or you just buy it and get your no fees and get into these farms and start earning these APRs now. And as these APRs go up with the price going up, because Function Island is like insanely cheap. So if we go over to Island right here, 17 cents, it could easily be $1. You know what I mean? So it's been up there before. Easily be $1 or more. So just think that. Small investment, $20, maybe $100, whatever your risk level is. I know everybody's broke right now because they're waiting on Bitcoin just to topple over and ETH to skyrocket, sack bads, and whatever narrative you're following. Anyways, there's that. I just wanted to point that out. All right. Because I didn't cover Function Island enough. So let's go back to the presentation and add to stage, and I gotta go to this. I remember I'm trying to work this out. There we go. So I'm on the stage. Yeah. All right. So that's that strategy. And the secret Function Island strategy in the middle. Who doesn't love a secret strategy? You just keep like the waterfall flywheel going, especially when you're younger. You know what I mean? So this is where we get into the weeds. All right. Advanced flywheel strategy. This is going to use bucks to DCA into other tokens you need to balance pools. All right. Let me make that a little bigger so you guys can read it. Right here. Laser pointer. I'm right here. All right. And we're going to keep 2 fucks. Since it controls the majority of the voting on fucks and gives you voting power to vote on pools you like too. All right. Keep in mind these strategies use the least amount of sell pressure on all tokens and also needs shifted as APRs fluctuate. All right. So there's that. Now, let's go into this. All right. So now we got the pools over here. We're earning. Let's just say we got the first strategy going a little bit, and we want everybody and every one of these strategies kind of float into one. All right. Because there's a lot going on here. And I mean a lot. So we're earning an agreeable index. We're earning fucks. We're earning 2 fucks. So to start off here, so we know what we're doing in the agreeable index, we're going to take that 2 fucks. We're going to lock it for voting power and point our votes back towards that pool. All right. Now, at the moment, we're earning more fucks APR than 2 fucks APR because it splits up and adds both together on 2 fucks. All right. To a total APR of like 300 some odd percent right now. Okay. APRs do fluctuate with liquidity, stuff like that. But that's what we're doing with 2 fucks. All right. So now here comes the complexity of what you can do with fucks. So you can swap it for Island. You could swap it for DAT. You could swap it for emit. You could swap it for any of them. All right. Because we're going to take that fucks and use it to add more LP to our other pairs because we probably already have the other tokens that we need. Okay. But let's just stick with the Function Island one right now. So we're going to take fucks, swap for Island. Let's say we bought some emit token. We're going to put it in the emit relaxation farm, and that yields, depending on what platform you're on. You could either be on emit yield. Yeah, it should be yield right here. So on emit. Yeah, I'm getting twisted with the yield emit farm down on Function Island. So there's that extra source of another farm you could incorporate here. Anyways, I'm making it too complex for you guys. Sorry, I'm trying to be as beginner strategy with this thing as possible with this flow chart. Anyways, so you take your island, you put it over there, you earn emit, and you take that emit, you can put it in single-sided, or you can compound this because you're in the agreeable index and you're going to swap fucks for island or whatever. And that's the only two farms you're working right now, but you're in every farm. So you have to split this up and swap for the reward tokens, right? You want to kind of help the system out. So now you can take that. There's supposed to be an arrow here with emit too, because that goes in there. One of them, Dat's emit farm goes in. Yeah, this one should go in here, and Dat should go right here. So let's put an arrow there. That goes into that. Oh, and that goes into that. All right. Now, Dat's agreeable farm takes nope. All right. So you have to have nope, yep, for the other side of the pair to go into Dat's agreeable farm. All right. I'm assuming there that you already have yep to pair Dat with, to going to the Dat's agreeable farm, or the decision farm takes nope. All right. That's right here. Decision farm takes nope token, which is in the agreeable index. The Dat's agreeable farm takes yep token and Dat. All right. And you could earn separate yields. You could go over to Hocus Pocus and find those yields out. All right. Now, the emit farms, the Dat's emit farm, that is earning let's look. Go to communities real quick. I know I'm not showing it on screen, but there is a farm in the community tokens section of emit.farms. It has like gelato emit, vets emit, Dedi emit, different tokens, and it has a Dat emit farm there. All right, it's earning 220% APR right now, and it earns emit. So that's Dat emit farm. All right, it's right next to the yep emit farm. You can't miss it. So that adds another ability to, just get yield on top of yield on top of yield, and you get the point. But these farms earn Dat. This one earns emit. All right. Then you can take Dat and emit and just compound into this one. All right, because both these pools right here, the yep, the yep emit farm. I forgot to put that on there. The yep emit farm, because you're earning the yep emit farm. Let's just do that real quick. Let's put this. Let's copy it. Let's paste it. The yep. All right. The yep. And the emit farm. And then you're taking that from that farm and you're putting it into that farm. All right. Or these farms, whatever. It don't matter. Either or. It's still, this is advanced stuff. You have to know really what you're doing, since agreeable emitting agreements. See what happens when it's so complicated. You just get lost in the sauce sometimes. I understand. So there's that. We got that farm right there, and it yields emit. So you could even add it to that. So it's starting to get a little complicated. All right. So you can take that. You can. There's another arrow. So yeah, there's a lot of arrows. Anyways, at least I'm explaining it. But you're primarily using fucks to swap for any of these tokens, even the keyball token to go back into your agreeable index and build LP there. You can just stick to one of these strategies and do pretty well. But most of us want to be everywhere at once so you have the maximum exposure and you're doing all the strategies over time, because 1 week you might do it all in one day and then 2 weeks later you're doing it all over again. You're building, you know what I mean? You're not at your computer constantly trading at all. So kind of frees up a hell of a lot of time, especially if you got kids and you need that time, because it's pretty valuable. So you got your YEP and single sided advised YEP to put in the YEP emit farm, the YEP note farm, the that's agreeable farm, the decision farm, the that's emitting farm, whatever. But you kind of get the token flow. So it goes from those farms down here, and you end up earning your rewards into the DATS emitting farm. You're earning your emit, you're earning your DATs, your DAT, and you're putting it in the DAT emitting farm, and you're putting your yield from that into single sided stake emit, all right, to earn that long coveted stable coin. Of course, wrapped, of course. And then you could take that to exit, whatever. But I'm gonna just probably go buy YEP with it, because that's my most agreeable way about it. I could put more arrows in here for you because this would go up here, go into that pool. You get what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyways. Anyways, you get the point. Let's go back to this and click on that. Oh, man. It's not doing it. Come on. Just had to happen on stream, huh? There we go. Whatever. There we go. Finally. I hit enter like 3 times and it usually just disappears. But yeah. Anyways, it's kind of like complicated. I get it. That's why it's advanced. And in this strategy, you're not concerned about impermanent loss because you're taking your yield and you're not compounding it. You're not selling any of these tokens at all because you're adding it back to LP, and it requires a little bit of new money to be buying the YEP, to be buying the emit, maybe, or it just use the bucks to as the new money to come in and just do the flywheel part of the farming strategy for YEP. You know what I mean? Yes, Fux is another token and you're adding sell pressure to it. It is far more liquid than these. We are lower caps. 2 Fux is lower caps. I haven't looked at Fux in a while, but it seems to be doing pretty good. But when the market comes in, prices go higher, yields go higher, APRs go higher. The whole market's going to move together with rep pulse. So I think these are very good strategies. Maybe just for like the average user, just stick with something like this because it's far less complicated, but you got concentrated. You're concentrated in less pools. Kind of know what you're doing, and it's less to pay attention to. You know what I mean? And then this, you just set it, forget it, earn your yield with a diversified building strategy. And then as you get more advanced and you want to add more farms and stuff like that, that's when you come down here. Okay. And I got little notes down here. Function Island has an emit yield farm that yields yield token. And then you can take that yield token and join it with your yield from emit and go over on Function Island and put it over there and earn, God, what is it? 2,800 APR right now. And there's only $150 in the pool. I mean, like, you could put $2 over there and you could probably double it in a month. Who knows? You know what I mean? Just, it takes comfort and it takes time in the market, because time in the market makes you money. Like, the more you trade, the more you risk, the more everything. Like, even with Hex, like, I stake Hex, I do all that. Yeah, price is down 99 fucking percent, whatever. You know what I mean? My my dollar cost average price is, lower. Um, it's around like probably 3 cents. So if it goes to 3 cents, I'm pretty much break even, whatever. You know what I mean? I have my exposure over there. I'm happy with my Hex bags because it's 15 years, and I'm probably going to restake it for 15 years for my kids. So by that time, Hex could probably be 20 to a dollar to whatever. But hopefully, you guys got some value out of this. You guys can use kind of somewhat of these strategies to think of ways to use your LP providing and stuff like that. All right. I think somebody sent me a message. Um, Frank. All right. Frank sent a super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Long live Pulsechain. Yes. This, let me, big screen. This is kind of ticking me off about most of the people on Pulsechain. Oh, man. Who on Pulsechain is multi-cycle? Who's just going to help provide LP and just be here and wait? Tiago from, or Solid Hex probably is. He's a whale. He's probably thinking like that. People building on Pulsechain like Function Island, like Emit Farms, like Fast Abdul, like all them guys are providing value. So they're probably multi-cycle because they're not going to rug it, right? Are they going to just like rug it at the top and just take profits? No. It's like you have to think about it. Like, you're not here just to make a double and sell and take it out of the market and just live off of it for the rest of your life when you're 20 years old. You're here to build generational wealth. You're here to help the system. You're here to move forward in your life. You're here, to be your own bank, the values of everything. It's like people are just thinking about this cycle and this 10,000x Pulsechain. It's like, you guys got it all wrong, man. What if we sat down here for 6 more years? Would you still be here? Ask yourself that question. And that's one of the reasons why I liquidity provide. Because I know I'm going to be here for longer than a cycle, or longer than a year, or longer than 2 years. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm going to make a little bit of money along the way. Yeah, I won't like double my 10K bag and be basically free money, house money from there. But like, you'll still have your bag. Like, you'll have your moon bag in LP. Like, that is your moon bag. Instead of keeping liquid in your wallet, it is your moon bag. It's like, yeah, everybody's here to make money. I get that. But it's also kind of like gives you a leech type mindset, just like make the money, take it out of the market, or stack stable coins and never use them to come back into the market. I don't know. Yes, demographics are different. Like, older you are, the more you're going to want to use those stable coins to live off of. The younger you are, the more you're going to want to put that money back in the market to offset the older demographic. You know what I mean? And in the middle, you're going to try to do a little bit of both. So, with that said, let's go over and give you guys a little update to all these APRs on YEP token. All right. I want to do this. All right. So we're sharing again. We're on that tab. So we're done with the presentation. We're an hour and 10 in. I have 10 more minutes. So, and I try to go through that fast enough for everybody. But yeah. Anyways, there's that. Island token doing good. We got YEP token doing good. It's making higher highs right here. Know what I mean? Higher highs. I love it. Higher highs on YEP. We got that wedge right here. It could be breaking up to the top. The target would be 405.5. I don't know. Just bullish. I haven't done TA on Island, but you get my point. We're not here to do charts today, anyways. So let's go over to Hocus Pocus. Let's go over to this tab over here. Let's enter Function Island. So we know we're on Function Island. We know we're probably going to have more things that come, at least YEP token yield wise. Could be earning other yield tokens. We might have to add it to the strategy even more. But anyways, we're going to come over here. We're going to put $2 in. We're going to put Homie Farms and emit. I mean, everybody's listed on this thing. So you can come over to Hocus Pocus and manage all your farms in one great place and go up here and search YEP. Bam! Look at that. Yeah, it's not showing the one other farm from Island YEP, but you have to be over here into the earn for that. So I don't know why it does it like that, but you got all your farms right here. Everything shows you your APRs, but when you go over to $2, it shows you higher APRs. Because I think you earn other bonus tokens sometimes, and you earn other 329. It's pretty good APR. Yeah, there ain't that much total value locked, but not a lot of people are buying Pulsechain right now. I mean, Pulsechain's already risky as it is for a lot of people. But all that said, like, we got some good APRs over here, like 177 APR in the DAT YEP pool. That's emitting agreements, right? Yeah. You know where that is. This is the decision pool because you got a little bit of NUP, you got a little bit of YEP. And you want to earn some of that to be agreeable, and then you want to start emitting some of that agreements over on Pulsechain, right? Like, that was a whole freaking play on word tongue twister, but it's kind of funny. And then you give a little more $2 or give a little bit more fucks over in the agreeable index if you want. I could even keep going on that, and you can just keep building liquidity. So yeah, with all that said, that's pretty much all I had for today. But I'm bullish on YEP. Little Pulsechain update. Still moving sideways. RSI's kind of gaining strength, so we could pop up here. And Pulsex pretty much doing the same thing. Bitcoin's kind of moving sideways. Ethereum, I'll look at the SBET charts and stuff like that. I've been noticing it's been swashing back and forth in the aspect charts and things. And the other one, the bit whatever one, I've talked a lot, and yeah, the bitwise, yeah. Anyways, other than that, it's getting late. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe next time I'll put my overlay back on, and hope you like. If you like this stream, like and subscribe. Um, yeah, stay agreeable or go to zero. Just stay in Pulsechain for more than 4 years, people. Hand it to your kids. Teach them all about it. With that said, thank you, Richard Hart, for doing what you're doing. And peace out.
No permissions, birth looked up, taking flight falling. Knows dissidence, balanced in dark and light. Steadying the agreeable index plight. Crypto tuning up, yup, keeping it right. Yup. The meme that's on the rise. Agreeable, intense. One on a Pulsechain's pride. Opening those minds with all the positivity. Marching in its time. Cadence in the grind. Agree to disagree. Yup. I thought of tiny. Meet up hits it right. Freedom and prosperity. The destination and the flight. Lighting up dad's farm. Opposed to that, nope. Rule. Firing up them charts. Yeah, flying straight and true.